everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to be having a little bit of fun with sublimation sheets. So for today's project I'm going to be trying out sublimation using a heat gun. I got this heat gun from Craft Buddies. I've also got some Craft Buddies mugs. How cute are these little boxes? So I've got 2 of those. I also have this really cool mug wrap from Craft Buddies. I don't know if we're going to get to this, but I actually have a sublimation water bottle from Craft Buddies. So that's just in case we have time. I then also have some Cricut branded mugs. I have some Cricut infusible ink sheets. And I have some Craft Buddies sublimation sheets. So these are really cool. I have looked at them in previous videos. For today's project, I've used this one. You can see I've cut out of it. And I've used this beautiful red one. I've also got a leopard print. And then I've got some like watercolor ones. Both of those are like these watercolor. Those are really awesome. I have a bunch of offcuts. In one of my previous videos, you would have seen me use that one. And I have a beautiful zebra one. So I've already done my designs. If you haven't followed me on TikTok, you should definitely do that. So I'm doing a lot of unboxing videos on my TikTok, well, not videos, lives. So if you have questions about the products, you can ask me in real time. And I'm also doing some design space lessons, if you will. We've got some really cool things planned. You can actually design with me, you can give me your input, and you can actually see your ideas come to life. And we can also collaborate on ideas. So I will take a bunch of ideas from people and we will come up with something. So when I designed these mugs, I actually did it on a TikTok live. And I got some really great ideas from people. And if you're in Durban, I can even, if your ideas are chosen, I can make the item and I can give it to you. So it's really fun and interactive, and I'd love for you to join me there. So some of the other things you're going to need is a heat mat, a heat resistant mat, or something to protect your surface. A heat resistant mat would be best. And I'm also going to be using an air fryer. So I've got a couple different things going on. I've obviously got the mug press in the background, and we're just going to compare the different types of mugs, the different types of infusible ink / sublimation sheets, and see what kind of results we get using the different sort of ways of doing it. So obviously not everybody can invest in a mug press. If you can, that's great. Obviously mug presses, first prize, you're going to get great results every time, but not everybody can invest in that. So that's why we're also going to be looking at the air fryer, which is why you will need your mug wrap and also the heat gun. So let me show you my designs to start with. I'm super excited about it. So this is one of our Craft Buddies ones. This is the sort of galaxy one. I love this one. I was a bit stingy on it though. If you look at it here, so I was a bit stingy. This is the best part of the design and I didn't use it because I was like, no, I need that for something amazing. So I've used more of the bluish parts of it, but I'm really happy either way. Oopsie. This is one of our Cricut infusible inks. Oops, you can't see it. There it is there. That is Cricut infusible ink. This is again Craft Buddies. This is our red one. And then we have one more design that I've done. And this is again our Cricut one. So we've got 2 designs from the Cricut infusible inks and we've got 2 of the Craft Buddies ones. So what I do love about the Craft Buddies ones is that they have such a huge range. And you don't have to invest in like a box or a mixed pack. You can invest in one sheet if you want to. So I like that. I like the versatility of that. So I think the first thing I want to try is the heat gun. So this one, I don't have a lot of faith in it. I actually did test it last night. And this was for about 3 minutes. Now obviously there was no, can we see it? There was obviously no pressure with that, which is obviously important. So I'm hoping that the pressure in the right time is going to give us a much better result. Another thing you're going to need, just for safety's sake, is some baking paper. You can also use normal copy paper. I don't know if I want to put normal copy paper in an air fryer though. So I don't know about that. So I think to start, let's grab one of our Cricut mugs. The other thing you're going to need is heat tape. So the way that I designed this, just to give you a little rundown, I went onto Design Space and I searched for mug MP, letter M for mom, P for penny, and that gave me a template to work out my sizing. Now you can work by measuring the mug if that's easier for you. That's completely fine. For me, it's just easier to work that way. Now, what you would ordinarily do is cut out the entire template. I didn't want to waste any of my infusible ink, so you can see I've cut out each side individually. And that is how I'm going to be working with it. So I've got one of my Cricut mugs. And now to decide what design to put on it. So I do kind of want to use, I think I'm going to use this one. Okay, so let's move our other designs out the way so that we don't affect them with the heat. Another thing with the designing, or with the cutting rather, you could do this on a Maker, an Explore, or a Joy. All of them would work perfectly. On the Explore, I used the infusible ink setting on less pressure. On the Joy, you would use it on normal pressure. So I saw this online and I thought it was really great. Like, you can actually use the box. So I think it might have been a bigger box. There we are. You can actually use the box as a stand to set up your design. So we're just going to stick this on. And then we're going to turn it. Can you see it? And then we're going to stick this on. So I'm a little bit worried about this one simply because it's so big. Or the wings are so wide, should we say. Obviously you don't want any bubbling, so put it on as tight as you possibly can. Okay. Then we're going to take some of our baking paper. Now what the baking paper is for is actually going to protect your mug wrap. You don't want to mess up your mug wrap, obviously. These things cost money. And for this, we're just going to sort of wrap the mug like so. Let's cut this down. Right, now we're going to take our mug wrap. Now with your mug wrap, you want it to be that way. So you're going to do that. So you want it to be that way. You see everything's pointing upwards. Let's just double check to see that our placement is right. I would actually move this in slightly. Oopsie, oopsie. Yes, that's perfect. Okay. Now, if you'd like to, you can use tape to sort of secure it there. I don't really think it's necessary because I've got the mug wrap. So you want that and you want this, so this one is going to go through that one. Okay, and you're going to put it quite tight. Oopsie. There we are. You heard it click. And there it is, holding our design nice and tight. So let's move anything that can get damaged from the heat away. And we're going to plug our... Okay, we're going to plug our heat gun in. Okay, let's make sure we can reach. Yes, we can reach. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to time this, and I'm going to do this for about 7 minutes. I know it seems long, and it is pretty long. Again, you're using a heat gun, you're not using a mug press or a air fryer. It is going to take a lot longer. I'm going to keep it quite close, but I'm going to keep moving. And I'm going to make sure that I'm able to get all of my design. So maybe I should start... I don't think it makes a difference, but let me start with the small one. Okay, so I'm going to start my timer and I'm going to get going with that. Okay, so we've done that side for 8 minutes. We're now going to flip it. We're not going to give it time to cool. And we're going to do this side for another 8 minutes. Sorry, I actually did that for 9 minutes, not 8 minutes. So I actually added on an extra minute. Now I don't want it to cool down, so I'm going to flip and do the other side. Okay, so we've done 9 minutes on either side. That is a total of 18 minutes, which is super long. And it doesn't feel very hot. So I don't really have high hopes for this, to be honest. It's a little bit hot, but it's not super hot. So we're supposed to grab there, but that is hot. That part of it is hot. So let me go and get like a cloth or something, which is what I should be using. Give it a couple seconds to cool down. And then we're going to have a look and see if we got what we were looking for. I went to find a cloth and I didn't find a cloth, but it has cooled down since. So we're going to push that upwards. There we are. Okay, I don't really have high hopes for this method. It's already cooled down, so that makes me think yeah, it's given me such a shadow there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the air fryer and we're going to try and fix that. So I don't think this heat gun is strong enough, to be honest, or because it's cold, it's taking longer to heat up the mug itself. So that could be something. It could be the mug itself that needs to be heated up more. There we are. Let's see, that's not straight. There we are, now straight. Okay, so we're going to plug in our air fryer. And for this, we're going to use... so it is an older air fryer, please excuse it. And I would just like to say a huge thank you to Ulrike for this. She was so nice. She just gave me an air fryer, and yeah, I don't even know how to say thank you. That's like, yeah, it was amazing. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'm super grateful. So we've got that on for 5 minutes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it. Okay, so we've done 5 minutes. Oopsie, that's quite hot. So I found my cloth and I'm now going to flip it very carefully. And I'm now going to put it in for another 4 minutes. And then we're going to see the results. Okay, so it is done. Let's open it up. Wow, that's hot in there. So obviously make sure that your hands are protected. Oops, you don't want to burn yourself. That is super, super hot. Not gonna lie, that is very hot. And obviously your handle is also hot. So what I want to do now is I want to repeat that process, but this time I want to use a Craft Buddies mug. So this is a Cricut mug. And we're going to now use a Craft Buddies mug. So we've got to wait for that to cool down. I absolutely love these little boxes that it comes in. Love, love, love. And I do like to keep the plastics. So let's put that aside. And for this, I want to do my daughter's mug. Now I've got to try and not burn myself while still getting into the camera. So on this side, I just wanted to do, for this side, I just wanted to do her name across, like so. Also remember, you don't really want dust on your mug because that's going to give you stains and, well, you don't want stains. Like that. Okay. I think this is still going to be way too hot, but let us try to utilize our cloth so that we save on some time here. Please be careful when working with this stuff. You obviously don't want to burn yourself. Don't be like me, that's overzealous. Lift up and open. Okay, great. Oopsie. And this actually looks like it worked great. I'm not gonna lie. So this is super hot. Even just this is super hot. Oopsie. Wow, look how pretty that is. So I think that time was right, actually. I think that was good timing. Okay. That was so silly. Okay, it's not too hot. You see, I'm so used to using a mug press that I forget that you can't just grab on a handle once it's been sitting in the air fryer. Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. That is cool. That is cool. So this is a Cricut mug with Cricut infusible ink. And we're now going to do a Craft Buddies mug with Craft Buddies Sublimation sheets. So I am going to use the same piece. That's super hot. So just in case you're wondering, yes, it is hot. Okay, so let's get our cloth. So I would suggest maybe investing in more of these. Why? Because they're super hot once you've worked with it, and trying to maneuver it when it's hot is quite hard. Okay, there we are. We have some life. So I know more or less what I'm trying to achieve, which is why I can do it with the cloth, more or less, let's say. Yes, I could just wait for it to cool down, but you should know by now that ain't gonna happen. We have it. We have success. Okay, so we're going to do the same. We're going to do the 5 minutes one side, and we're going to do the 4 minutes the other side. Remember, your air fryer will also be hot, so take that into account. So we're doing 5 minutes. Oops, that went to 6, so we're going to do 6 and 3 apparently. Okay, so I did 6 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other side, because I pressed or I moved the button a little too far. So this is super hot. We're going to let that cool down. Now what I wanted to do, so we've seen that the air fryer works. We've seen that the heat gun didn't really work. I probably could have gone for a lot more time, but I'm being honest, after 18 minutes my arms were sore. So I think for something like that to work, you would need one of those industrial heat guns. That could probably work well. So what I want to do now I've used Cricut infusible ink on a Cricut blank. I've used Craft Buddies Sublimation sheets on a Craft Buddies blank. Now I want to swap it around, and I want to use Craft Buddies Sublimation sheets on a Cricut mug, and I want to use Cricut infusible ink on a Craft Buddies mug, but I want to do it in the mug press so we can see what the difference is, which result we like better. So far I am quite happy with the air fryer, so I think that is a good option. That's a very good option. That is a word. Oh, so it's quite heavy. Obviously protect your surface. What I would ordinarily do is I would have it on my heat resistant mat. Oh, I gotta plug that in. Okay, it's plugged in, and this one, it's gonna go at its own time and / temperature. So I'm gonna get my mug ready, and again keeping our pretty box and our packet, and remember to move the stuff with a cloth, don't burn yourself. This one's cooled down nicely, and I'm really impressed with that. That is gorgeous. So this was 9 minutes in the air fryer, and I think it's perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. So you can see little specks. The original design actually did have a lot of little specks around it. I obviously couldn't keep them all. For this design, we're doing a double layered design. There we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this, oopsie, without cutting my design. So you want to rub or clean your mug, make sure there's no residue on it, oopsie. Make sure it's dust free, you don't want that dust on there. Now we're going to put a piece of plain copy paper around it. Now the copy paper is more to protect your press than anything else. And no, I haven't taped anything down. If you wish to, you can. Okay, and we're going to press that down. And the time is automatically going to start. So let's feel this should be cool enough to unwrap. Where's my cloth? Let's unwrap this. That's quite scary. Okay, that's still hot. That's still quite hot. Oopsie. That is there to cool down now. Oh, I almost did it again. I almost grabbed it without the cloth. So I can see this one's also worked. Oh, that is so cool. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, wow. Look how cool that looks. I love that. So when I said about the dust, this is what happens if you have dust particles. Can you see that? There, that's glue. Don't worry about that. That'll wash off. But if you have dust, a lot of the time the dust has dye in it. And that is going to stain your item. Okay, so we are almost there with this mug that's in the press. So we're going to prep our next mug. Oh, there we are, we're ready. So with these, you can take it out by its handle. And we can remove this. Just be careful not to burn yourself again, obviously. That is so cool. That is so cool. So this mug design was actually from Shamila Hendricks. Thank you so much for your input on that mug. I love it. That's going to be probably my new work mug. Okay, so we're going to prep our next mug and press it quickly. So we've got our Craft Buddies red sheet there, and we have a Cricut mug. Make sure that it's clean. And we're going to stick this in here and pop that in there and close it up, and that's going to automatically start our timer. So this was the Craft Buddies mug with the Cricut infusible ink. I'm super impressed with how this turned out. It is nice and bright, it's beautiful. I think that's great. It's hot though, it's really hot. Look at that, the colors are vivid, it is beautiful. So this is a Cricut mug with Cricut infusible ink. They are both super vivid. Love that. So now we're doing the Cricut mug with the Craft Buddies Sublimation sheets. There's so many things to remember here. Okay, so that one is done. And we're going to take that out. So one of the biggest differences I've noticed so far between the mug press, we're going to put that off, between the mug press and the air fryer, is that the air fryer is going to give you a lot better coverage because you're using this mug wrap. It's actually pulling everything tight, so you don't need tape. Now I'm going to show you why you actually do need tape when using the mug press. Yeah, there we are. So if you look at the way, you can see that slight ghosting. Now that is because I didn't use any type of tape on it. I just stuck the designs on like this. You are supposed to kind of secure it with tape. Oh, this looks so cool. This is so freaking cool. I love this one. I do love this one. Let's get our tweezers. There we are. Look at that. Look at that. I love this red. I love it. I love it. It's like a very deep red, but you can see it's got like watercolor pattern. It's like watercolor red. I don't know how to explain it. It's really awesome. And it goes perfectly with this mug. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, in terms of colors, this is Craft Buddies Sublimation sheet on a Cricut infusible ink mug. This is Cricut on a Craft Buddies mug. This is Craft Buddies on a Craft Buddies mug, and this is cricket on a cricket mug. So overall, I am super, super happy with all of it. I think it's amazing. I really do. I am absolutely in love. Look at that. So I think that an air fryer is a great option. I would suggest getting more than one of these. That way you can prep your next mug while there's one in there and you don't have to wait for it to cool down. It does get very hot, so obviously you would have to be mindful of that. Overall, I'm super happy with the results of all of these. I'm kind of bummed about the heat gun, but I have a load of other uses for that, so not too bummed. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope that you learned something, and I hope that this helps you on your mug journey. Obviously, if you can't invest in a mug press, then an air fryer is a good option. You'll just have to get obviously the extras, being the mug wrap. But other than that, it's a really good option, and I hope that it gets some people making mugs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.